Hello everyone, welcome you all to Samiksha IAS Academy. In this particular video, we will be discussing about the term called star party. As you all know, whenever we come across the word party, we used to hear words like dazzling sounds, glaring lights. However, recently there happened a party in a place called Ladakh. It happened in a quite contrary manner. And that too, this party is quite related to astrophysics. Why this party happened, where it actually happened, right? So this is what we need to understand. So before getting more details about this party, first let's get some basics about a place called Hanle, right? So this place is quite famous. You know why? It is located in Ladakh, in the UT called Ladakh, where we also have this wildlife sanctuary called Changtam. This place, in the last couple of years, it's becoming quite relevant, especially for space industry, especially among astrophysicists. You know the reason? Here, across the globe, if you see, there are very few spots there we can see the outer space in a very clear manner, like the sky is quite clear. So this is one of such places, right? So that's why it is called as it's pristine night skies. It's very important, right? At the same time, this particular Hanle Dark Sky Reserve, this is being managed by three entities. One is the Indian Institute of Astrophysics, located in Bangalore. The second one by the UT of Ladakh, and the third one by Ladakh Hill Development Council. Okay, first, before going into the further details, what exactly this Dark Sky Reserve? As we see here, it's exceptionally clear skies, limited atmospheric interference, and minimum artificial light pollution. That means, in general, when we see the outer sky, especially from the within the surroundings of the cities, we can't see in a very clear manner. Why? Because on one side we have presence of clouds, on the other side there is also presence of artificial light pollution, especially by us. By switching on all these lights, this glaring, it will not allow us to clearly see what's happening outside, especially through ground level telescopes. That's the reason in general we establish these telescopes in deserts, like in Atacama desert, right? Or we will be taking up these telescopes outside to the Earth's atmosphere itself, so that we can get less disturbances in the atmosphere, so that there won't be much atmosphere. We can see clear sky, so that we can observe the outer space. Understood that? But there are some spots on this Earth where directly from Earth itself we can clearly see the outer space. One of that spots is Hanle. That's why it is called as Dark Sky Reserve. Okay. So if you see here, why Hanle? If you clearly see, first of all, as we mentioned, minimal atmospheric interference, low light pollution, and ideal for astronomical observations. That's what mentioned by one of the engineers from that particular place, right? So the features, if you see at the from the sea level, it is at the altitude of 4,250 meters, and second one, very low humidity, so that there can be very less chance of presence of clouds, and the third, a little atmospheric dust, so that there won't be much reflections of light, and almost within 365 days you can see, within up to 260 days you can see here clear skies, right? So this is the speciality of this Hanle Dark Sky Reserve. Okay, next, if you see further, along with, already there is a natural ability here with respect to clear sky. Along with that, to further reduce artificial pollution in that particular area. Why? Because there we also have presence of human population, the nomads. Even to reduce that particular light pollution, this Indian Institute of Astrophysics, it is providing certain facilities to these people, like lampshades. You can see here blackout curtains and some warm tone bulbs, It is also creating awareness to these people so that the light we are using artificially, it also must not affect that particular region. Okay. Further, if you see, along with taking care of that particular area, it is also empowering the local communities so that they should not feel isolated. For example, if you see, the local people are being recruited as astronomy ambassadors. These people will be trained. Among the recently trained people, even good amount of them are women. So these people are being trained and being called as astronomy ambassadors so that whenever in the month of October, in the month of August, September, when the tourists visit these places, especially for these star gauges, right? Those people who are having interest in this astronomy, these people will be helping them. In that way, these people can also get some kind of part-time revenue. So in that way, this particular initiative is also helping the local communities to empower, to get some benefits out of it, right? Similarly, if you come to the actual point that we discussed in the starting, the star party. So this from 2023 onwards, the government of India is conducting this. What exactly it is all about? It is especially about those people who are having enthusiasm in astronomy, astrophotographers, because there we have the presence of telescopes, right? At night time, people can observe clear skies. In that way, the star gauges, those who can have, those who want to see the sky from that particular place. For all these people, every year, government is conducting this party called the star party. It's not actually the conventional way of party. It's about those enthusiasts who can visit there. They can enjoy they can enjoy the whole atmosphere over there. They can also have exchanges. They will be conducting tutorials so that they can learn something about astronomy. They can also have a clear, like what you call that, real life experience. Similarly, what you can see is like it's also for the photographers, astrophotographers, right? Who is sponsoring that? The Bangalore Astronomical Society. So it is actually sponsoring that particular event. Okay. So next, recently, some of the people who went there to observe. So what they observed? Some people used to say this zodiacal light. So what exactly it is all about? It is about during the twilight times, evening times. So during the twilight times, you can see the sunlight reflections from the cosmic dust. You can also observe sun's position, like the opposite side. So what's exactly happening there? You can also observe belts of Venus. So this is what people observed. So they came and shared their experiences, right? However, going to that place is not that easy. Why? Because as you all know, it is having an altitude of 4,200. That means there will be less presence of oxygen over there. Similarly, as the rays will be directly coming from the outer space, there is a chance of presence of UV rays. That's why without having proper precautions, visiting this place is not suggestible. That's why whoever visits that place, first there will be proper medical checkup. Then after that, there will be continuous medical assistance. Then you will be properly trained how to roam in and around that particular place. Then only you will be allowed. And again, before before taking the applications, they will be asking you the purpose of the visit, like for what purpose. If they get convinced, then only visitors will be allowed to visit that place. It's not like anybody like just if you think like you can visit. No, it's not like that, right? It's a properly regular, like there's a proper regulation for the visits over there. Why? Because the atmosphere is harsh, and we must also be acclimatized first. We must also have some kind of enthusiasm, or else the area will get polluted. It won't be good for the astronomy. So, in conclusion, what we can argue, in the recent past, as you all know, Ladakh is in very for wrong reasons, it's in the news. But however, these kind of initiatives that takes Ladakh to the next level, especially its position not only in India but also at the global level, especially with respect to space industry. In that way, this Hanle Docksker Reserve, the initiative, it a shining example of how science, sustainability, and community, they can come together and they can take up these kind of initiatives and helps the community to grow together. All right.